Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Kanye West apparently re-entering the world of film. This from Jimmy Kimmel, specifically the world of pornographic film. Jimmy says that's the kind of business genius he is. You know what the internet could use? Some porn. Ronnie Chang and I are aligned. He was talking about the Biden administration's new rules, which require cash refunds for air travelers subjected to everything from canceled flights to non-working Wi-Fi. Ronnie said, "This is the greatest thing the government has ever done in history. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for making my life better. Now just bring back Roe v. Wade so I don't have to sit next to a crying baby on the red eye." Just did that 2 weeks ago, so that touched a nerve there with me. There was another kerfluffle on After Midnight. The guest, Gillian Jacobs, you know her from Community. She greeted the crowd, explaining how to pronounce her name. She said, "Yes, I'm Gillian Jacobs. That's hard G, soft J, but the vibe is just right." Okay, I'll read that to you again in a second after I tell you the setup here. So something weird happened with the closed captions. I saw the clip. So Gillian says, "Yes, I'm Gillian Jacobs. That's hard G, soft J, but the vibe is just right." But the captions added the phrase. I'll have to read it again just so I could do it in context. The caption version said, "Yes, I'm Gillian Jacobs. That's hard G, soft J, but the vibe is just right. I'm masturbating." What? Okay, Colin Jost hosts the White House Correspondent dinner tonight, 8 o'clock, C-SPAN. Are you staying home on Saturday night to watch this thing? I will recap it for you on Monday. I did see a list of who is invited on the different press pools. Some interesting notes. ABC News correspondent Rosario Dawson. CBS has invited Sadiqa Martin Green and Wilson Cruz. They're from that horrible Star Trek Discovery. John Hamm and his wife are going for CBS News. How does this work? CNN, Rachel Brosnahan. Deadline invited Kerry Russell. NBC invited Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Colin Jost is your host tonight. He did an interview with NBC and talked about when he does the joke swaps with Michael Che. Joe said it's kind of crazy. There's not a lot of live TV in the world anymore. So the idea that you're on live TV and you have to say something that you don't know what it is, that's pretty crazy, and it's usually not gentle. I'm someone who can really be in my head a lot of times, and it definitely gets you out of your head. I really like that. Jost also wanted to clear up that he's not planning on leaving Saturday Night Live. He said, "I don't have a real timeline. I mean, I started to potentially psychologically brace for the concept of leaving, which I really hadn't done. I don't know. Certainly, quarantine makes you appreciate having any job, and I very much appreciate having friends you get to work with and enjoy seeing." He says he's in no rush to leave. "Colin, your ferry is a disaster. You got a steady gig. Go talk to Keenan. Sit at that desk for another 20 years. Steady work is a good thing." Jerry Seinfeld turns 70 on Monday, so that makes me think there'll probably be like a big-time celebrity birthday party, right? And it's going to be Jerry and his pals, so it'll be Jim Gaffigan, Amy Schumer is going to be at that thing, right? Yeah. A lot of Jerry press coming up the next week. That Pop-Tarts movie is out on Friday. I've already got stories squirreled away, so if you like Jerry Seinfeld, you're going to like this podcast. GQ said, "Jerry, you've talked about how stand-up is about power, standing on stage alone, demanding that people listen and have a physical reaction. How did the power of being a director compare?" See, a little trick there. I didn't think we were going there with that question. Jerry said, "Being a director feels like running a ranch in the West. It's kind of a mess. You've got horses and cattle and chickens and broken fences and filth. You got a lot of people and a lot of physical things. Stand-up is a pure experience. That's why I'm so addicted to it. The only other thing in life that I truly idolize is surfing. I watch a lot of Instagram surfing videos, and when somebody catches a great wave and they're just sliding down it, it just hypnotizes me. That's how it feels when you're having a good set, like you've caught this gigantic energy and are just sliding down it. There's nothing pure in making a movie. There's no flow. It's highly complex and messy." We're all wondering, does Jerry Seinfeld surf? No, I tried. I did it for about a week 20 years ago. You have to dedicate yourself to these great things. I don't believe in being good at a lot of things, or even more than one, but I love to watch it. I think if I get a chance to be a human again, I would do just that. You wake up in the morning and you paddle out, you make whatever little money you need to survive. That seems like the greatest life to me. They asked Jerry about the Midwestern vibe in the upcoming Pop-Tarts movie. What's it? Unfrosted. I can't remember that. I just keep calling it Pop-Tarts. They asked him, what was the Midwest like to you? Jerry said, hilarious. John Updike had the greatest line. New Yorkers think anyone who doesn't live in New York is in some sense kidding. That was me. It felt like, let me go to this place and show them what we're like, and they'll pay to see that. I still feel like that's what I do. Let me show you what a New York is like. I think you'll find it interesting. Good follow-up here about Seinfeld. GQ said, that's what I think of as the Seinfeld paradox. It's so specifically New York and so specifically Jewish, and yet there's a station where I live in New Orleans that, as far as I could tell, only plays Seinfeld 24/7. Jerry said, let me solve the mystery for you. It's Jason Alexander, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Michael Richards. Those three people transformed this very small, idiosyncratic thing, which should have always been small and niche. They made this unrelatable material accessible. There's no other way it would have happened. Follow-up. Didn't you feel like you were part of it? Jerry said, I was part of it, but I wasn't on their level. I did what I could to help. All right, so I want to cover this, but I also don't want to lose the audience. Jim Gaffigan on the Today Show, hawking his bourbon. I've spoken about this quite loudly. We have to do an intervention for Jim Gaffigan. So as a journalist, I'm not a journalist. As a journalist, I need to cover this, but I don't want to lose the audience. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take out your phone and hit 30-second skip twice so you don't have to sit through this clip, okay? You've been warned. Don't delete the podcast and be like, this podcast sucks. I'm telling you, I know that the next minute sucks, but I have to, as a journalist, I'm not a journalist, I have to play this clip for you so you can experience Jim Gaffigan on the Today Show. All right? Last warning, skip. All right, this is on you. You're still here. If you're hearing my voice right now, you didn't hit 30-second skip. I tried to warn you.
Father Time Bourbon.
Father Time. Well, since it is Bring Your Child to Work Day, I thought that I would bring in my baby. I don't know if we have it. If we can bring it out.
Lord.
Here we go.
Yes.
This is.
Look at that.
It's. I think it's a beautiful bottle.
Yeah, look at that.
And it's called Father Time. And so.
I think we need to.
I said Father Time. It's Father Time.
It's Father Time. So it's not the guy with the beard. It's about this time that a father, like the tagline, a father, it's called A Father's Joy is Earned. Because being a father is thankless. And by the way, I do believe that the mom is the hero.
It's
Absolutely.
fine.
Anyway, I'm going to sign this because each bottle is signed. And I'm going to charge you guys for this bottle,
Excellent.
by the way.
Oh, my goodness, Jim. I just feel the coolness just oozing out of you every time I listen to you talk about the bourbon. That's only half the clip. I will play another minute of that clip tomorrow. David Spade and Dana Carvey have some thoughts about the upcoming Chris Farley biopic. Spade said, I'm a little ambivalent about it. I don't know. I heard some whispers about this for a long time. I've run into this guy, Paul. Apparently that's actor Paul Walter Hauser, who's going to star as Chris Farley. He's a nice guy. I think he's wanted me to do this for a while. Carvey said, in all seriousness, I wish Hauser the best, but he says it's hard to portray someone like Farley. It's one-offs and charisma. It's very hard to get used to it in a film. Even the last Elvis movie, Austin Butler did incredible, but you never reach Elvis. It's impossible. It was the best I've seen. The same thing with Will Smith when he played Muhammad Ali. He was absolutely fantastic, but the whole time you're going, but you can't do Muhammad Ali. Spade said, I wish him well. Like you said, it's hard to capture the highs and lows and the greatness and just the pure likability and the innocence and everything that was great about Chris Farley. Carvey says Chris had so many sub-rhythms, there's a meal to be had there. Matt Friend, you might know his impressions of Donald Trump, which is okay, Howard Stern, which is really good, and I have not heard his Mitch McConnell. He's getting a podcast on Bill Maher's network. It's called Friend in High Places. Friend aims to be the intersection of Maher, Graham Norton, Jimmy Fallon, and Sean Evans of Hot Ones. He tells Variety, there will be politics, but it's going to be lighter. There'll be a variety showcase element to it, where I might do a topical sketch or comment on something in the news. I misspoke. I did an edit. I said tropical sketch. I don't know what a tropical sketch is, but I'd watch it. But at the same time, I'm going to be having longer conversations with actors and athletes and politicians, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what's happening in Sydney. Lara Ricote's show is called Little Tiny Wet Show Baptism. A surreal, partially interactive, dark, like silly dark, not edgelord dark, and moving comedy show about what it's like to live and what it means to care for somebody if you always leave them. Comedian Ashley Freeze has released an album co-written with AI. The album is called Monkey Paw Cowboy. Ashley said, once I started playing with the tool and seeing what it could do, I think the album was inevitable. Ashley wrote the lyrics to all the songs, which are in the style of country music. He says, I've never particularly been into country music, but it's clear that this is a good genre for comedy songs. Let's listen.
The following tracks are written by AI, and all persons depicted are entirely fictional. And while the lyrics try to mimic songs and singers quite iconic, the whole thing's just a party trick, electronic.
And Jack Whitehall is continuing to go at it with Prince William. I told you, I think yesterday, Prince William did a knock-knock joke and said it was like Jack Whitehall material. Whitehall released an Instagram video of Prince William telling the joke. I'm going to share the audio. Whitehall doesn't speak during the video, but he is making faces at the camera, and at the end he takes notes. But here is Prince William.
I am here with the gang here talking about male mental health, and I've been asked to produce a dad joke. So I'm kind of trying to channel Jack Whitehall, because most of the jokes are pretty dad-like.
We'll give you a second.
No, it's fine. I think what I'll do is I'm going to say a joke that is Charlotte's favourite joke at the moment that she keeps saying me. I'll do that instead. But you're going to have to interact with me. It's not a joke I can tell straight away. Knock knock.
Is this a...
Interrupting cow. No. That's the one I hear a lot. That's the greatest one I can think of. It's clean and broadcast as well.
And that's your comedy news for today. If you enjoy our content and want to access our commercial-free archives, become a subscriber on Apple Podcasts, just $4.99 US dollars per month. You can start with a free 30-day trial. I see a bunch of people doing that already. Again, I don't want to overpromise. I explained this yesterday. The normal show goes live at 3:05 a.m. Eastern. The ad-free version of the newest episode, I have to post manually when I get up in the morning. I can't preload it. Drives me nuts, believe me. So on Friday, I slept in a little and I went got coffee. It didn't get up to like 8:05, but all the archives will be there and all the other shows on the network. We're working on it. So that's $4.99. If you want to test drive it, 30-day free trial, give it a shot. Or if you prefer to support podcasts using the value for value model, you can stream Sats My Way using the Fountain app or Podcast Guru or True Fans. Or just keep following the show for free like you've been doing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.